Last time on Gaming Through the Ages, I played Donkey Kong 64 from 1999 on the Nintendo 64, which had me playing as a mountain gorilla called Donkey Kong. King K. Rool and his minions were planning the destruction of Donkey Kong's island and kidnapped all of DK's friends. After exiting our 3D treehouse and completing our training, we were free to roam the world, although many areas were initially locked. The more we explored, the more items we were told to collect, such as keys, telepads, blueprints, and many different types of bananas. The graphics overall were good, but nothing amazing, being mostly similar to previous Nintendo 64 titles. But unlike Super Mario 64, the trees were actually 3D. There were, however, some cheeky 2D sprites still scattered around the world, and objects were often popping into existence when you went near them. Will these graphical annoyances disappear as we move to the 6th generation of video game consoles? Keep watching to find out. Welcome to Gaming Through the Ages, the series where we take a look at games from many different genres and consoles through time, from 1975 to now in chronological order. Once we reach modern times, we start back at 1975 and explore a different group of games. Viewers of this series were given the opportunity to pick any game made in 2000 for the Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast or PlayStation 2. Crazy Taxi for the Sega Dreamcast got the most votes. In this game we play as a taxi driver that's willing to break quite a few rules on the road in order to get his passengers to their destination as fast as possible. The game is set in an open 3D world with an environment based on the sunny coastal areas in California, with steep hills and other strong similarities to San Francisco. If we take too long to get to the destination, however, we won't get paid at all as the passengers will jump out in anger. Anyway, that's enough talk for now. It's time to get into the driver's seat. Okay, here we are finally with the Dreamcast, our first 6th generation console on Gaming Through the Ages.
Crazy Taxi!
So it's called Crazy Taxi and it's got crazy voice acting. Now, oh crud. I just had to turn the music volume off because there's this thing in the future, it hasn't been invented yet, but it's going to be called YouTube. I think they're going to make it in about 5 to 6 years from now. People are going to be able to upload these videos into some site on the internet. Unfortunately, that site will get angry at me if I have music in this video, so we're going to have to just turn the music off, unfortunately, even though it does kill the experience a bit. Anyway, we've got a bunch of things here. We've got arcade, original, crazy box, options, record, save and load. I'm pretty sure these two at the top here, arcade and original, are just two different tracks we can try out on, so we'll have a little go of both. Let's first of all just drive around for 5 minutes and just kind of take in the graphics. What is this game graphically like to compare to older games we've played on Gaming Through the Ages?
You have 5 crazy minutes. Pick a car and driver.
Okay, so we've got 4 different people. We can choose this guy with the green hair, that one with that big funny mouth, that woman, or this one. You know what? I'm gonna be funny mouth guy.
BD Joe.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Look at
Hey,
whoa! Look at how detailed.
Buddy, are you ready? Here we go.
Look at how detailed this 3D model is. It's got those 2 little sticks up. And the shadow, look at this. The antenna, or whatever it is here, the shadow, as you turn the car, it changes depending on the direction the car is facing in relation to the sun. And the actual back of the car has reflections on it. This is amazing. Anyway, let's start driving down.
Hey, wait up. Where you going?
Wow, look at
You better
this.
pick someone up or you're gonna run out of
I gotta
time.
get something quick. I'ma have to quit.
Okay, let's have a little look at the buildings nearby us. How are the resolutions on all these textures? Now, as you can see, the texture on the side of that building there with it almost looks like stones or something. It doesn't look too bad, but the rest of the building up top does have quite blurry windows and things like that. But these don't look too bad. Like, if you're not driving right next to a building, if we go over here, those buildings don't look bad at all. In fact, they look very, very detailed. I mean, there looks like there's a lot more
Pick someone up or you're gonna
very... is that KFC? You kidding me? Kentucky Fried Chicken? Drive through. Oh, that is so cool. KFC enter. Oh my goodness. They've actually got a real place here, and you can see the amount of detail here. You can actually see the words KFC on the building, even enter and drive through. There's just so much more detail in these buildings to what we've seen in the previous Nintendo 64 games we've played. And this sign with KFC and everything, this actually has quite clear graphics, but some of the other buildings do look quite blurry. So it kind of depends on what building you've got. And the main thing I'm loving here is the fact, oh sorry, whoops. Bit of a car crash there. The main thing I'm liking here is that each building looks different. You've got this coffee shop over here, and then, sorry, another crash. You've got another building over here that, oh look, there's even like water out there, but I've got to admit that grass looks pretty Nintendo 64 like with how flat it looks, not much variation. But there's so many different building types. I mean, every single building here basically just looks different. However, did you just see that? Popping graphics are still a thing so far in this early 6th generation that we're experiencing. I just saw the whole road just appear out of nowhere. Let's experiment with that. If I drive really fast, are we going to see the road popping in and out of existence? There we go. I saw a background there and all those buildings popped in. But at the same time, I feel that we're seeing a lot more on the screen at once. Like, look at how many different models we've got, all these different building models. We're seeing all of these on the screen at once, and that is just pretty insane. And the thing about this is it reminds me of remember we played Need for Speed a while back, but with Need for Speed, the amount of polygons on the cars wasn't that great. Oh, and Pizza Hut! Oh my goodness. There's an actual Pizza Hut here. That's another real life place in this game. Our car is very detailed, but some of those other cars do look quite blurry. But yeah, our car definitely has fantastic models there. I've earned $0. No license. Oh god. I'm going back into this again just because I want to take more of a look at everything. Now the thing that I find amazing about this is that there's so many other cars on the road driving, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I'm seeing like several cars at once just driving. Look at all these people walking around. Can we... Oh gosh, they're good at dodging us. Wait, let's try and crash someone. Oh. Okay. I wouldn't get into a taxi that just smashed into a tree. Before we start playing, I want to keep looking at the graphics here. There's just so many objects on the screen at once, and that's absolutely amazing to compare to the Nintendo 64 days. Sure, we've still got graphics popping and the draw distance could still be improved. I just find this jump to the 6th generation quite amazing, especially the fact that there's so many objects on the screen and this is an open world. There's so many different cars everywhere and they're all doing their own thing. I think there was like 20 cars on the screen just then and our passenger just jumped out because we were taking too long. This reminds me of when we were playing Grand Theft Auto for the PlayStation 1 a few years ago, 1997 I think. And it was set in an open world just like this, but the issue is that, oh my goodness, we can drive in here too? Cool, a car park! But the issue with that was... But the issue with that is it wasn't 3D. We're still pretty much in a 2D world with just 3D buildings that kind of went by, but the whole ground was flat and most things were sprites. Here we've got so much more 3D stuff going on. Now, that brings me to another question. Are there 2D sprites here? Are these trees 3D? Let's have a little look. Yes, I can drive around this tree. It's not a perfect circle though, this tree. It's kind of like a boxy tree, and that's kind of odd. Is this a circular object? What the? Is that a triangle, that street pole? Yeah, that looks like a triangle to me. So the street poles, although they look circle from an angle, they're not. They're different to what you'd think. I'm seeing what looks like 2D sprites. That bush there is definitely a 2D sprite up against that wall. See that bush there? And what's this? What are these bushes? Oh, these bushes, they're kind of like a collection of sprites that are interlocked with each other like that. They've got no depth to them either. As you can see, that kind of disappears there. So these bushes have no depth to them. And, wait a sec, I just saw some railings. These railings here are also... Look at that, those railings just disappeared. So there we go, they're cheeky 2D sprites hiding within this 3D world. Hopefully one day though, we're not going to have these cheeky 2D sprites hiding in a 3D world. Hopefully one day that really will be a three-dimensional poles and objects like that. And that bush there won't just be two interlocked 2D sprites joined together like that. Hopefully one day it really will be a fluffy bush of some kind. So now that we've exposed the truth behind this game, it does still have graphics popping. It does still have those 2D sprites hiding within its 3D world. Let's just have a go of actually trying out the game now. Okay, let's see how much money we can make in 5 minutes. Okay, we'll be Axel this time.
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go.
Okay, let's pick up someone.
Hey, come here.
They want to go to the original Levi's store. So we're 600 meters away right now. So in 45 seconds, it's green, they're pretty happy. They're going to want to get out of this car. So let's try and quickly, oh crud, make it there before it is too late.
I got it.
There it is.
I'll catch you later.
Yes, $400 for 40 seconds? That's insane. I want to be a cab driver if that's what they're going to get paid.
Come on, you're in a hurry, right?
Now we're going to Pizza Hut. Listen to the voice acting here. You can hear all the different characters speaking all at once. You can hear the road, the squeaking of the tires. Although it is a little bit repetitive. The sounds saying the same things again and again. Oh, that was speedy. Let's try another one here.
Come on, you're in a hurry, right?
Used car shop.
Get me out of here.
Okay, hang on.
Now, one thing about this game, this is extremely fun and so cool driving around this 3D world, seeing all these other cars and trying to dodge them. This is like, if they made a 3D Grand Theft Auto game, this is what I would love it to be like. The only thing I find with this game is that it's just a bit limited. There doesn't seem to be that much going on here. It's like what it is you just pick up somebody, take them to their destination. Pick up somebody, take them to their destination. Yes, you can do all these cool flips and driving around, really cool, weaving through the traffic. It's pretty awesome, that aspect of it. But there's not really much more depth to the game than that. I mean, there's no car upgrades. Like, with all this money we're getting, you know, like $320 and all that, that would be cool if we could upgrade our car, you know, like get a better engine and maybe save up to buy a propeller on the top of the car so you can fly to places. Oh crud, I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I know.
Lost. What? Where's this arrow pointing?
Second.
Hey!
Give me a break.
Hey, how many hours does it take you to
Oh my gosh. I could not work that one out. Let's try this person. Millennium Tower.
It's okay, just drive.
Okay, but don't freak out on me.
It's so good to hear so much like voice acting and different people in this.
Hey, what's your problem?
Even people as you're driving along almost hitting someone. Oh, what's your problem? You definitely can't hit people. I'm trying to run over someone just to see if you can run over someone. Not that it's a very good thing to do, but I just want to see if you can, and you can't. They somehow dodge you every time.
Let's roll.
You can crash into other cars though.
Hey, you're going the wrong way.
I don't know where to go in this game. There's no GPS. There's like no map, overmap to show you the way. It's just one big arrow and you've got to just hope that you're follling it correctly.
Hey, you're going the wrong way.
Wow, look at this. We're going through a tunnel now.
You suck. Look at the time.
She just jumped into that van. I don't think that was intended though. It's just such a big world. I just wish there was more to this world though. I mean, all we're doing is just driving from place to place, picking up people, and that's about it. And this money can't be used for upgrades. I kind of feel like this is really fun for a short burst, but after that, there's nothing really else to explore here apart from getting people to their destination on time. Oh, look at those huge buildings. Imagine if you could actually use this city for something else, like walking around and exploring it that way, flying over it in a plane, just some other things apart from this one driving.
Check out how you did today. Now let's
So we got, a license D, so I'm guessing A is the best and F is the worst. Anyway, let's check out some extras we've got here in Crazy Box. This looks insane. What is this Crazy Box thing? Oh my goodness. What?
Uh-oh, too bad. Let's give it another go.
So you're trying to do the biggest leap possible. So it has got these extra little mini games as well. So Crazy Jump, Crazy Flag, and Crazy Balloons, and Crazy Turn, and Crazy... Wow, there's a lot of different crazy things here. Let's try pop all these balloons.
Go!
Oh, the insanity here. I do like the fact that it's got this Crazy Box. It is something else, but I kind of wish this game was a little more. I mean, it could have some kind of a storyline of some kind, and the 3D world could be used for more than just driving. I mean, what about walking along the streets? I know, just doing other things apart from what we're doing.
You did it. No new records here.
So yeah, for our first 6th generation game that we've tried on Gaming Through the Ages, it was certainly a lot of fun. It was so cool to see this big 3D city with all these 3D models, but there were some 2D models. Those cheeky things. When will we finally get rid of those cheeky 2D sprites? Anyway, time to move on to the next game. So where to next from here? The year in the next episode will be 2001, which introduced another two 6th generation consoles in the US, the Nintendo Gamecube and the Microsoft Xbox. The Gamecube has a more powerful GPU and CPU than the PS2, allowing it to produce better graphics overall. However, unlike the PS2, the Gamecube can't read CDs and DVDs, preventing it from being used as a DVD player. Instead, it uses an 8cm mini DVD based disc format specifically made for the Gamecube, known as the Nintendo Gamecube Game Disc. It could only store 1.5GB of data, which in many cases was a disadvantage against the PS2, which supported 4.7GB DVD discs. Multi-platform games that fit on PlayStation 2 and Xbox DVD discs occasionally see the removal of certain features in order to fit on the Gamecube game discs. Full motion video scenes and audio are more compressed to fit on a single disc, reducing their quality. The newly released Microsoft Xbox is the most powerful of this generation of video game consoles. Not only is it more powerful than the GameCube, it actually supports DVD discs like the PS2. I am going to have to break character here, however, and mention that as of 2016, the year this video is really being filmed in, the Xbox emulation is still not up to standards. Even though I'm able to get games running on an emulator known as XQEMU, it unfortunately doesn't run at full speed, and has numerous graphical issues. XQEMU will continue to improve in future though, so we will eventually be able to play Xbox games in a future phase of gaming through the ages. As for the Dreamcast console, which semi-blew us away moments ago, we'll now be ditching it as it turned out to be the least powerful game console of the 6th generation. To be fair though, it was released before all the other consoles, so that's mostly to be expected. Anyway, for the next episode, pick a game made in 2001 for the PlayStation 2, GameCube or Xbox. Save your Xbox votes for a future phase though when Xbox emulation is better. I'll see you guys next time on Gaming Through the Ages.